Here's an opportunity for the Whitecaps. And Justin Glad coming up big. And RSL loses the ball right back. Whitecaps with another chance. Far post and in, and there is the equalizer. Brian White. And Vancouver draws level in the 55th minute.
But now it's about, can they stop the counter?
And there is a counter on the cards here. It's Caicedo with all sorts of room to roam. And goal just slid it across the face of goal! And the Vancouver Whitecaps have hit on the break with devastating efficiency, and Austin have seen their lead evaporate here.
He's 22 years old, the Ecuadorian, but he's a monster of a man in the middle midfield defensively and on the ball.
There it is, touch, bouncing, and it's in! Ryan Gold! Providing magic once more for the Whitecaps in the second half. We are level at 1.
Have to be a little bit more careful defensively now.
Lucy back. Heel to Dahome. Dahome on the right foot. Gold is there, White! Brian White! And the Caps are on top by 2.
If I could draw up a Brian White prototypical goal, that could be it.
I touched it with my feet, you guys. It wasn't with my hands. It wasn't with my hands.
Given away by Wilson. That was a real giveaway. Work to do here. Oh, it's 1-1. And Danny Wilson at one end, a hero. At the other end, he's given it away. And Vancouver Whitecaps have leveled things up from a shocking mistake.
And have the Whitecaps feed him.
And you would hope, Paul, that then opens up some room for the Whites and Cavallinis to do their business. As Nerwinski gives some service. Gaspar looking for Tiber now at the edge of the box. Tiber on the left foot. It's in the middle. And Brian White! Well, it's not the opening 15 minutes, but the Whitecaps will take it. They strike first. It's 1-0 Vancouver.
Terrific ball in from Russell Tiber.
Caicedo touches that for Owusu, wins that battle. Charges forward, White to Gold! Gold, stop! White is not! Brian White continues his red-hot second half in a Whitecaps kit, and it's 1-0. Being Caicedo, it's in the back of the net.
And guess who? It's Brian White again. Beautiful delivery, perfect touch. 2-0 Whitecaps.
Almost the same spot. White is there. Can you believe it? What a night for Brian White.
It's the hat-trick he deserves. And Sartini celebrating another set-piece goal.
That was the San Jose side that wanted to man-mark at midfield and let Jordan Morris run past him over and over and over again.
Dahome, good play from him, gets the ball back inside the area, good footwork, and it still might fall here for the Whitecaps. Good save on the near post, the rebound is smashed home. And it's the man who's been very much informed, Brian White, who scores right on the stroke of half-time, and after all of the dominance, it's Vancouver who will go in at half-time with the momentum.
Oh, Mabiala let it run on. White leaving. Caicedo. Bruno Gaspar just a little too far for him. He keeps it in play. It's Brian White who heads it in! The most informed striker in Major League Soccer, Brian White, has leveled the match. It's 2-2.
And then finds the big stick on the goal line.
And if the net is 3 feet further back, I think you're right, goalie. It's in. Goal, cutting it back for White. It's another one.
Unbelievable.
Brian White cannot be stopped. And it's a 2-goal lead at BC Place.
And one swing over the last 2 minutes. That's got to be crushing to Minnesota United's players, and so uplifting for the home team as Brian White finishes clinically. You hear
Raposo into the front post as it's headed away by Mihailovic. Baldissimo. Tybert. Now Raposo. Takes a deflection on the way through and then off the head of Waterman there. Driven in and the Whitecaps have their goal. First goal of the season for Brian. And Siki Stabile. Tybert down the line. Gutierrez with the cross in. Brian White with a header! And the Whitecaps are level with 20 minutes left to play. And it's the substitute Brian White who comes on and makes the impact.
The attack can continue. Raposo on the volley and the opening goal. And there it is. And it has fallen to Brian White. Couldn't miss on the volley. Raposo did well. White was there to mop it up. And finally the breakthrough. Goal into the area. Second, Brian White. And in the blink of an eye, the Whitecaps might have just booked themselves a place in the 2022 Canadian Championship final. It's a brace for White, and the Caps lead York United by 2-0.
No saves needed yet for Alija Ivičić tonight. Vancouver with just 2 shots, neither on goal. Raposo, good ball, and it's the opener. Brian White, getting on the end of it, has given Vancouver a 1-0 lead on the road in Portland.
No debate whether it's here or Raposo. Deep cross, met well, sent back across the top of the 6. Rolls outside of the 18, looking towards Raposo. Second effort from Osorio. Gauld for a third chance, back post! Vancouver gets there first! Brian White in the 19th minute! And an opening goal in the 2022 Canadian Championship final!
What a start for the Whitecaps. This is exactly what they wanted. And that ball in by Gauld, it was perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better ball.
To Brown on this near side. Lewis closing down the space. Career high numbers for Jonathan Lewis this year. Really been given an opportunity, hasn't he? With starts and appearances. Abubakar miscued that one. White threw it on goal onto his right, and he scores. Mistake by Abubakar, and Vancouver Whitecaps have stolen in, and they've taken the lead. 9th minute, and White has his 4th of the season. And a horror show defensively from the Rapids, and the Whitecaps lead.
While falling down, manages to get the ball to Brian White. Here's Brian White! 5 for Vancouver! Brown again comes away with it. He's still going. Now the shot! Oh, that's a tremendous goal! Brian White surely seals it now for the Vancouver Whitecaps, and he does it in style. A first-time effort curling into the side netting.
Brown stands up front here. Now the ball's ahead for Betcher. Betcher has Brian White! 1-0 Vancouver. And just a huge weight lifted off the shoulders of Brian White. Unselfish play from Simon Betcher. There are options on the far side. Won't get it to Gressel though. Gauld settles things down just outside the box. From the left foot, Tess Ivičić, the rebound is there. Gressel tries to get it across the face of goal. It's forced to do it. It's in. Brian White. Right place, right time, and Gressel finally has an answer for Ivičić. Look. For Trapp, gave it up. Chance for the Caps here. It's gone. A hit for Brian White. White all alone versus DC. Clear. White slides it home. Flags stay down. to see, of course. It's very tight. Gressel there to take it, and he will. Drives it across the face of goal. Brown puts it back into play. Veselinovic taps that far post, rattles through and across the line. The Whitecaps with a messy set piece, but a goal nonetheless, and it's 2-1 for Vancouver. And Brian White looks like he's in agony here, but he was instrumental in helping knock that one over the line.
Try and pull it up now. Be a little squeamish. Ubas. But he did make the trip back with his teammates following the game. Gressel drives it in for White. He's got one back. Brian White, he leads the league in expected goals, but he gets a real one there. And in the 83rd minute, the visiting Whitecaps take that St. Louis lead and cut it in half.
And we do have a substitution to tell you about. We speculated this at the end of the opening half. Ranko Veselinovic has been brought in on the back line for the Caps. Javine Brown comes out and goal off the post. Brian White tucks it in. He's beaten Pedro Vite for heaven's sakes.
Gressel again. Out to the top of his box. Sirwa, but he makes a mess of it. Brian White with a gift. The first mistake of the Montreal keeper all day long. And not the player you want to hand it to, as Brian White into a wide open goal sends BC Place into bedlam.
It's just a lofted ball into a good area. Brian White just keeps his eye on it. It's brave as well because you know the keeper's coming out. You can see it in the corner of your eye.
Cifuentes. Vite. Oh, a little swivel of the hips. Cordova. Goals. White at the far post. It gets there. White. And in. Flags down. Brian White's going to claim it. His 7th of the season. And Vancouver are with their walk-around privileges in Los Angeles. 2-0.
Trying the right side. Blackman up to Gressel. Gressel to Schumpf. Alessandro Schumpf. Andres Kubas. Raposo wants it in the corner. He'll get it. Working against Caligari. At the corner. Pops that up. Brian White's there. Puts it towards goal. In! Brian White! Inside 2 minutes again for the Whitecaps. They're on the board.
White knocking it down for Vite, and now wide for Caicedo. Is this the moment for Vancouver? Through onto the inside, a chance in front, and they've got it! Maybe at the death for the Vancouver Whitecaps, and it's Brian White. Blackman cutting inside the space. Now sends it forward for Ahmed. Making the run forward is called the goal scorer. Little change of pace, cross in onto the back post, and it's 2-0 Vancouver. This time it is Brian White, and the visitors have doubled the lead.
To score goals. Here's Ryan Gauld. He's been full of goals recently, finding Brian White, and it's kept off the line, or was it? The flag is up over on the far side, and it's a goal. Credit the goal to the Duke Blue Devil, Brian White. It looked like he had gotten enough on it. Chris Brady was desperately trying to keep it off the line. VAR and goal line technology will certainly have their say, but for the moment, Brian White has the opening goal. Ryan Gauld. Toronto backing up to defend deep. It's clever ball in! And what a finish from Brian White! Vancouver's lethal connection. Gauld to White.
First corner of the night for the visitors. Gauld, who else with it, and an open header and a goal, and it's Brian White. And it's the Brian and Ryan show again. White and Gauld, nothing short of spectacular, and Vancouver surge in front.
It completely changes the quality of this group.
Back post ball, and we're tied at 2. Guess who? It is Brian White. He has a knack for finding space inside the area, and he does it to the tune of his 13th of 2023.
Does get it away from Brian White. Taps it over for Ryan Gold. Long ball for Richie Larea in a foot race with Rowan. Gathers at the edge of the area. Larea cuts it back. Gold now with a chip to the far post. There's Brian White! They've done it! 5 alive. They're on the board inside the first 2 minutes again. It's 1-0 Vancouver. Absolutely incredible. Moving in a good spot again. Charging down the middle. Larea closes down on him. No foul. Pierre Lugozier keeps it in his pocket. And now Brian White all alone versus Lund. Brian White chips. It'll make it. Number 15 on the season. And that one will count. The Whitecaps on top.
Patient approach here from LAFC, maybe to your point about trying to slow things down, but they've given it away. Ball in behind, White, chance to go for goal. Goal inside, White goes alone, and he's leveled things up. LAFC played themselves into that disastrous situation, but Brian White, one of the most clinical strikers in Major League Soccer this season, has delivered again. We're level.
On the restart, the free kick. Now the ball pushed forward by Ryan Gold. Pico. Help coming over from Paul Arriola. Dangerous cross sent in. It's another goal for Vancouver. Back to back very quickly. A dangerous ball is whipped in and finished by the outstanding goal scorer Brian White.
Well, he looks shell-shocked, the keeper, but what a delivery.
His ability to bounce back with his teams. The 2 Canadian teams, men's and women's squads, not losing 2 in a row to the Men's World Cup, which is quite. And now it's White on the turnover! Squeaks it past Sean Johnson! And inside 6 minutes, the Whitecaps have struck first. It's 1-0.
We haven't talked a lot about him, but another strong performance through 75 minutes.
Low driving ball! Brian White! Of course it is! So many efforts off the head from Brian White today. One finally makes good, and it's 1-1 at BC Place.
Get more time, all of his time off the bench so far, but you would expect as they get into May, June, July, August, where you're playing 8-9 matches a month.
Turnover again, and a chance to double the lead, and they do! It's the second time tonight a turnover has been costly, and this time it's Brian White. 2-0 Vancouver.
Blackman completes the switch. Quick pass there from Adekubi to Ahmed. Got the next pass through to Ryan Gall. Pedrovite in space. Here's the overlapping run from Ryan Raposo, cutting it back, and Brian White has done it. The highest scoring Whitecap ever in Major League Soccer. Brian White at 44 career goals passes Camilo Sanvezo